one cool doorbell.
That is a cool doorbell. Wow, you can really feel it.
Well, that's what's really good for you.
Yeah, if you give it a good whack, you can hear it clear out the back of the property.
Really?
This one's actually really
No.
no. Yes, no.
Everything's
Oh, really?
Right, wow.
Same with the door hinges and the door part.
The door's amazing.
There's Wi-Fi out here.
Writers and things like that. Yeah, people who want to come here and work on
Yeah, wow. Well, why wouldn't you? I mean, inspiration from the woods.
So the power is from...
Well, we're on the grid, yeah.
Right.
Another heated, there's a thermostat.
I was just wondering if you could just, if you wouldn't mind just sharing what inspired the first sphere as such.
Always. The idea came from the spirit realm, if you ask me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just the delivery vehicle.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that's where all real, true inspiration comes from anyway. I don't think people think of new ideas, you know.
So did anybody else tune into this idea around the world that you're aware of?
You know what? It's my 20th year, and I'm still the only guy in the world that does this. And, you know, I think about the same time, yes, there were other people, because now there's a fella in Holland who does teardrop kind of.
So for hanging as well?
Yeah, it's not a sphere, it's more
Yeah.
like a teardrop, and it hangs. He's making them out of fabric, they're tents, and they hang in the trees. And then there's another company in Germany that's making fabric spheres with a great big aluminum interior framework and structure to hold the fabric tight, and that you can suspend from the sphere.
So like more the portable type of thing, so you...
That was the idea, but I mean with all the aluminum framework and whatnot, I don't think they work very particularly well in the sphere. Like, how comfortable is a tent, you know?
Well, how long have you been running here with...
On this property, we've been on this property 7 years, but I've been doing it for 20 years. This is
Okay, so you've had the spheres elsewhere?
Oh, definitely.
Outside of...
Eve has probably been in 9 different locations. This sphere has been in 3 different locations.
Yeah.
Melodies.
All Vancouver Island, or...?
All on Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's way cool.
Yeah.
So what's your understanding of like the sphere sort of energy-wise for sleeping and like obviously inspiration like you were talking about with writing and things?
Well, you know what, it architecturally, you know, if you're all about architecture, it embodies the idea of oneness, of unity.
Yeah.
Like there's no separation between the walls and each other or the walls and the ceiling. It's all one wall, you know. It's unified. And so, and then you step outside and you look up and you can see that web of rope that connects it to the forest, and you know, it kind of underlines our connectedness to the
gentle rocking.
the ecosystem that we exist in too, you know. So there's an awful lot of symbolism. I had no idea about any of it until a couple of years after I'd built Eve, you know, and she'd been up in the trees for a while, and we knew it was a real healing place, because when I first met my partner Rosie, she'd just recovered from, you know, cancer. She'd had a bout of cancer and just got off the chemo and everything else, and she cocooned out in Eve for probably for months, you know.
Yeah.
And it was just like a metamorphosis almost, you know. Came out of a changed woman.
Wow.
And you know, years later, I had no idea of all the symbolism, and I had this kind of a dream one night. It was like an explanation. It was, you know, we'd always wondered why it would have been such a healing place, and the dream was all about, well, healing is, first of all, you have to be willing to change your mind, your perception about your situation, and really what brings healing about is a change of perception, and being willing to let go of the old perception of sickness and move on to a new perception of wellness, you know. And so the spheres kind of help people shift that perception, because who's ever spent time in a sphere before?
I know. The thing I love about the whole sort of self-healing element is that if you give the body the right environment, the body will always heal itself. The elements of nature just out the door, and the movement and the connectedness. And,
that whole dream, it kind of explained how, you know, normally the buildings that we choose to live in are all rigid. You know, we don't want any movement, even in the worst earthquake. We want everything to stay exactly where it is. You know, and we're all locked in place. Whereas these spheres kind of embrace that concept of movement. You know, swaying with the trees and gentle movement. And then normal buildings that we live in are also all about separation. You know, we separate the walls from the floor and the ceiling, and we separate them from each other, and we kind of underline those separations with color and material changes and what have you. And so when you step into a sphere that embraces that concept of movement and embodies that idea of unity, of oneness, and, you know, it's connected to the forest, and, you know, and so, you know, it kind of helps people to just change their mind, their perception about how they see things by spending time, like you said, in the forest. Canopy is a magic environment. And it's someplace we never go, you know. Since maybe once in a while when you're a kid and you get into a treehouse, you know, as adults.
We were house sitting in southwest France in a large property. It had 35 acres, and there was lots of little woods walks, so that we walked the dogs around. And there's this one section, we called it the Enchanted Forest, because it was that beautiful growth on the ground and all these sort of trees intertwining, and you just take the dogs in there, and it's almost like they'd all calm down. Like they were all like really excited about going for a walk. They're big dogs, and they get in there and they're all kind of just like chill, and we're sort of standing there going, we're in the Enchanted Forest, this is really cool.
Wow.
Oh, this is
Amazing. Gotta come and stay.
This is cool.
It is. It's amazing really how much room is in here when you look at it from the outside, you know, and then you come in, it's like, okay, we got everything we need in here.
Yeah, it's quite spacious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, surprisingly.
So the guest book, I'm sure you got people from all over the world having
Oh,
a stay.
God, yeah. Great comments. And lots of artists too, you know, just like just like the little...
Yay! Oh wow. Lots of stuff being put in.
Yeah.
And art.
Yeah,
Wow,
wow.
people drawing a lot.
Yeah.
Art,
Early
poetry,
morning visitors, I suppose there's quite a few deer around here.
Yeah, and the odd bear.
Yeah, the odd bear.
Yeah, I'm doing.
They're about a half a K
Amazing.
from the Qualicum River.
That's awesome.
I guess it just inspires a creative space. Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. It really inspires the creativity. What's the longest somebody stayed?
Well, we had a family from Alberta come out and rented all of them. Stayed for a week this summer.
Oh, wow.
But usually week-long stays are more in the winter, you know, like that's when people come and, you know, work on projects.
So you're year-round?
Pretty much. We didn't take any bookings after the end of October. We were trying to move. Haven't found a property to move to yet. I need someplace with better trees and different zoning so that we can expand.
You have to go looking at where's my trees?
Yeah.
Well, exactly. That's our number one criteria. You're competing with the loggers all the time too, which is the unfortunate thing about it.
That is just gorgeous out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's east too. Big sunrise, that one. And you can see everything just clamps around the trees. There's nothing that really penetrates the trees anywhere either.
Yeah.
And where I clamp around the tree, I always put those vertical spacers in so that it'll, you know, the tree doesn't get girdled.
Right. Yeah.
Affecting it at all, is it?
It's almost like tree hugging.
Exactly.
It is, yeah, it is.
This is exactly what you mean. I love the little mushroom outhouse. The lakes are pretty cool. It's not a bad property to have like these little ponds and stuff.
No, it is. It's very nice.
Hello, Melody. I guess they're like your children, are they?
Oh, absolutely.
You got 3 girls.
I had 2 boys.
Did you?
So these are my girls.
So who painted her?
It was actually a friend of my youngest son's, Coleman Webb was his name. And the melody's Beethoven's Ninth, the Ode to Joy.
Ah, the Ode to Joy.
Oh, I remember that.
She's beautiful. And what did you call this one, Tom?
This is Melody.
But the design, was it? Sorry.
Oh, this has got a Murphy bed.
Murphy bed, okay.
Yeah. So there's two of these tables.
That's neat. Wow.
And so it makes a bedroom by night.
So you've actually got windows at head and foot then?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a double-sized bed, is it?
Yep.